the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. All praise is due to Allah, the Lord of all the world. I bear witness that regardless to land or label or language, there is but one God. It makes no difference which name you call him by. There is but one God. It makes no difference if you call on him in Chinese or Japanese or Korean or Zulu or Swahili or Xhosa. It makes no difference if you call on him in Hebrew or in Arabic or in Aramaic. God is one. His universe is one. The creation is one. His people is actually one people. And it makes no difference, the devil is one also. And it makes no difference if you call him in one language by one name or in another language by another name. The white man is the devil. I greet you in the name of Allah, the one God, and Muhammad the messenger. Assalamu alaikum. We don't want to keep you long today, but there are so many things that are happening in the news today, in the world today. Every time we turn on our radio or our television, we find that there are reports of wars and rumors of wars, earthquakes in diverse places, AIDS and disease and pestilence all over the face of the planet Earth. And today, as young men, you must beware that the white man is no doubt, since he has put drugs in the community and the drugs are not killing you off fast enough. Since he has put a liquor store on almost every corner and in the middle of the block, and the alcohol of the white man is not killing you off fast enough. And since he has put a gun in the hand of every young black man that wants a gun and an Uzi and everything else, and since it's not killing you off fast enough, he might now set up a draft system to draft you in an unjust and an unfair war to go and fight people for him, and you not have any justice here in America where you have toiled and struggled for the past 400 years. So my subject today is goddamn Uncle Sam. Say no. If he says that we need you in Iraq, just say no. If he calls you to Saudi Arabia, just say no. If he calls you to Grenada again, or if he's now planning on Fidel Castro in Cuba and he calls you to Cuba, just say no. If he calls you to South Africa to stand up against Brother Nelson Mandela and the freedom fighters of Azapo and those in Azania, of the ANC and the PAC and the other revolutionary forces there in Namibia and in Mozambique and in Angola and all over the hot spots of the world, just say no. Wherever he calls you, just say, God damn, Uncle Sam, hell no. Hell no. You throw your hand, but I'm not throwing. All praise is due to Allah. Years he has robbed us and raped us, robbed us of our name, our language, our religion, our culture, our God, our folkways, our mores, our norms, and the very power of our own being. Broken our will, broken our spirit, dehumanized the black man, emasculated the black man, and dehumanized the black woman and separated the black man from the black woman. So we need a guide for the black woman to understand the black man, and we do need a guide for the black man to understand the black woman, but that guide must come from God on high, and it must come from God's messenger and his representative in the midst of the people. Oh yes, it's true. Black man must take his rightful place back again on the face of the planet Earth, where he is a free, proud, and productive black man, where he is free and independent, a man among men, and a man growing from boyhood to manhood to godhood. That's the only way she's going to respect us. She cannot respect a male who just has the genitalia of male, and the gender of male, but she can only respect a man who reflects God in his life. That's the only way she can submit to the powers and laws of God, and the only way you can submit to the power and law of God is when we see that coming from her. Our brother Yusuf Salam, and our other brothers now sitting in a dungeon somewhere, in a jail cell somewhere, because a white woman has been, they say, raped. We are not used to white women being raped. We're used to white women just giving it up. That's the way she is. We missed our lecture last week, but I must share it with you this week to let you know that we mean it just as much this week as we did last week. Our subject last week was the white woman is a bitch, a two-legged dog. That's what she is. A white woman in Central Park, there for cheap thrills and cheap feels in the midnight hour with some sneakers on, talking about she was jogging. We know better than that. The white woman has always done that. On the plantation, she would get Big Sambo and make Big Sambo do with her what she wanted Big Sambo to do. And then she would tell old Big Sambo if Big Sambo got too scared to come back again and get Big Sambo lynched. This book is only 100 years of lynching from newspaper articles all across the country. But it's a little book. Volumes of this book could be written because we have been murdered and maimed and lynched by the white man since we've been here in the hells of North America. And so the scripture speaks of a day, as we spoke of just in a word from last week, when a people would come whose only desire would be to lay this oppressive nation low. That a people would come from a distant land. It might be talking about us because we're from a distant land. And they would snatch their babies from their arms and dash their white babies' heads against the rocks. It talks about how their women would be overcome and how their women would be destroyed. And so I say that we stand firmly with our brothers in the so-called Central Park joggers case. We stand with them. We don't stand with the white woman. We don't stand with the white man. And actually, there is no court that should try a black woman or black man in white America. We can receive no justice in the courtroom of the white man. The white man's system is set up against us. He will always set it up in a way where he will come out on top. And so I just like the idea that she was possibly, I don't know who did it, I don't believe our brothers did it, but the fact that somebody beat her upside her head with a pipe, I feel all right about that. I don't care what you think about that. I feel all right about it. You say, well, that's not the thing to say. You just don't say things like that in this time. I'm glad whoever beat her with the pipe. No good devil. They used her for sympathy in the courtroom. Some mangy, nasty, disease-carrying, two-legged dog, bitch beast that they bring in the courtroom. What sympathy can I have for her? This book talks of many times when they lynched us and we hadn't done nothing to the white woman. How they would take us out of the courtroom and lynch us. Take us out of the jailhouse and lynch us. Take us from the sheriff and lynch us over a white white woman. And so now they want to lynch Brother Yusef Salaam and lynch the other brother. We said last week it's nothing but the Scottsboro case all over again. So it smells of Emmett Till, and the viciousness of it is the same as of Emmett Till. The substance and the circumstances surrounding it, they're not the same. Go ahead. I feel nothing when white people get what they are due. The Bible says that there would come a time when all of the sins of their fathers and mothers would be visited upon them for generations in the future. The only problem with the Central Park joggers case is that the dog didn't die in the park. That's the only thing. A bitch is a four-legged dog, no, that sniffs around under the tails of other dogs, trying to find a thrill in dogdom. Central Park is dogdom. 42nd Street is dogdom. New York City is dogdom. Yes, it is. So I can't have any feelings for this white woman. That's right. My feelings are for her. That's right. I just don't have that much feeling. That's right. I'm so consumed with feeling for the black woman. That's right. I feel for Tawana Brawley. I don't give a damn about the white woman in Central Park. Hell with the white woman in Central Park. My heart goes out to my sister, who was raped by a gang of crackers, beaten by a gang of crackers, and she pinpointed, she didn't lose her memory. She could identify the Peckerwoods who raped her, and one of them committed suicide, and they still kicked her case out of court. But here's an amnesia devil who don't remember nothing but it was a nigga. That's right. And they convict our brothers and get ready to take our other brothers to the court and lynch them. And some of you are planning on going and fighting for America. You're planning on joining up. I saw some Negroes on TV. Yes, sir. Well, I think the president was right. He sent the troops over to Iraq because of the Iraq attack against us. Didn't nobody attack you, fool. Khomeini, you remember when Iran and America were in it? Khomeini let the Negro soldiers come back. That's what I said. He let the Negro soldiers come back. If you're black, you wouldn't even be a soldier. Unless you're in God's army or you're in a black army, you wouldn't be fighting for the white man. They grab you, just say no. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad did 5 years in federal prison. And it was the draft issue, even though he was a year older than that actual draft cutoff age. He did 5 years in prison. These were 5 of the best years for the Nation of Islam in one sense, though it was painful in another sense, because he laid the base and the foundation for the movement in prison during that time. So if you go to jail, so what? If you go to prison, so what? I've been to jail, I've been to prison, I've been stripped buck naked with chains on my ankles and chains around my waist, chains on my hands. They check every cavity in your body, look out on your tongue and your ears, make you bend over and spread your cheeks and look all the way up in you. But it's nothing but an extension of the slavery process. Our foremothers and our forefathers had to go through the same thing when they were brought here 400 years ago. Many of you want to be free, but you don't want to do what it calls for to be free. Many of you talk nation, but you don't want to build a nation. You still want running around puffing on a white nicotine weed that Dr. Francis Cress Welsing says resembles the white male sex organ. You're running around with this in your mouth. You better watch what you're putting in your mouth. Somebody call you to question about that thing. Puffing on this thing. Fire on one end of the cigarette and a fool on the other end. And you come out, it's nation time. Hell, it's going to be nation time and you can't even recognize that it's time to put the poison nicotine weed down. Then the rest are drinking all the time. I have to have my glass of wine. What did you see drinking wine, fool? You saw the white man drinking wine. Well, the wine, it's good for the digestion. And a little bit of scotch and Harvey's Bristol cream. You just a white man's nigga in 1990 with a new haircut and a new t-shirt and a kente cloth, whatever it is. You have to clean up from this. Nation time, but you snorting cocaine. Nation are you gonna build, fool? Or you talk black in the daytime and you with a white woman or a white girl at nighttime. Everything you say is black, 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 but you got white women. White men. You set up organizations and you find a way to let white folks in. Well, blackness is a state of the mind. You out of your damn mind. Blackness is a state of the mind. The lessons we have say that no matter how long the devil studies among us, we will never respect them. We will always recognize them as being the devil. We don't love the devil no matter how long the devil studies. Blackness is a state of mind. Some white girl put on a kente cloth crown and say Body Gunny or Hotep or Assalamu Alaikum or Jambo, and you fall for it. Yeah, I got me a black white woman. No. Too many serious things are happening.
That's right.
For us to go this route. If we were organized, they couldn't have done Sister Tawana the way they did. And if we were organized, they couldn't do our brothers the way they're doing them. We need a strong cadre in New York. Not just the picketing bunch standing around in front of somebody's store picketing them. People don't care nothing about you picketing them. Spike showed you what to do. Where's your garbage can? Throw your garbage can in the window. Where's your fireball? If you would have burned the Koreans behind out, and the crowd would have gathered around a handful and they stomped the Koreans behind in the middle of Flatbush or Church or whatever street it was, and you made an example of his Korean behind, telling him to keep his hands off of black women, or you break his hands and break his fingers and leave him there like that. You can have no problem. You can put up your picket sign. We have got to build that kind of army in New York. A serious army. Not one that when something happens to us, we look for a way to excuse it. Well, it's not time right now. Well, when is it going to be time? Everybody should be scared when they mess over us. Everybody should be trembling when they mess over us. But we have to be organized.
Yes, sir.
We can't get organized behind just anybody.
That's right.
There are some leaders, even Muslim leaders, who say we should join the United States military. That's what they say. There are some Muslim leaders who say if America is attacked by a Muslim country or an African country, that they would fight on the side of America against an African country or an African nation or a Muslim nation. There are some Muslim leaders who say if you won't carry the American flag, I'll carry it myself. That's right. They got some Muslim leaders like that. That's what they call them anyway. No, you gotta say, God damn, Uncle Sam. That's right. Ain't your uncle no way. That's right. Come on. You're his daddy. That's right. You gonna be his daddy and he's gonna be your uncle. You cannot go into this war, brothers and sisters. That's right. I have to say sisters too. That's right. They used to just draft you, now they drafting her too. That's right. When they call you, you gotta let them know where you stand. You gotta let them know that if you draft me, I believe you are my enemy. That's right. You gotta tell them. That's right. America is my enemy. That's right. That's right. Tell them I'm a Muslim. That's right. And my religion forbids me to go and join in an unjust war. That's right. They say when it's a violation of God's law and God's word. You got to know what to say to them. Right. In fact, you got to know what to do if you are stopped or arrested by these devils. That's right. You can't run off at the mouth when the devil gets you. Right. You shut your mouth. Right. You're a soldier. Right. We're at war. Right. We are a captured nation. Right. We have been held in captivity for 400 years in fulfillment of the prophecy of the Bible that we would be in this condition. Genesis the 15th chapter, the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th verse. Right. And when you are captured by your enemy behind enemy lines, you only give name, rank, and serial. What do you give? Name, rank, and serial. That's your driver's license at best. That's right. If you ain't got that, that's your dog tag. If you don't have that, it's your ID card. Your New York ID card. Your Jersey ID card. That's your name, rank, and serial. Well, what about so-and-so? We're going to kill you, buddy. We're going to put you away, buddy, for life. You're really facing something serious here, guy. And they turn the lights on you, jump. Let me have your while, Sergeant. You don't say nothing to this guy. Right. Nothing. Right. Say, I'd like to see my attorney. That's right. Say, we're going to lock you up and keep you there. We're not going to feed you. We're not going to give you no phone call. We're not going to do nothing. You say, come on with it. That's right. That's right. Lock me up. That's right. I'm not making no statement on tape. I'm not making no statement on video. I'm not signing a goddamn nothing. What do I say? Goddamn. So once you sign it, God has damned you. That's right. It's condemned. That's right. You understand? Yes, sir. When you are stopped, when the devil approaches you and puts them with its funny sirens they got in New York. As soon as you hear that thing and see the light, if it's night, you drive it or whatever. If you can turn your light on in your car before they get out, you turn the light on in your car. Let them see inside of your car. That means you got to be clean. You can't have nothing in your car you don't want them to see. All right? Put your hands on the steering wheel so the beast can see your hands. When he approaches, they're nervous. They're scared of you. Because they know that the day is coming when you're going to wake up. They know the day is coming when you're going to do what you're supposed to do. They thought Central Park was that. They thought that we had organized pipe squads already. It was taking them out one by one with the pipe squad. Well, there will come a time when the pipe squad will rise. Huh? All kind of squads are going to rise. Yes. We're going to make up for what has been done. By God's command. Not by mine. Nobody will stand and give you orders. you'll have orders coming from a commander inside of you. And you'll know when to move and you'll know what to do.
That's right.
And you'll kill everything white that ain't right that's in sight. Yes, you will. That day is coming. Put your hands in clear view. The devil is nervous. Normally they pull their guns. But they're scared of you.
That's right.
Normally they come with many troops.
That's right.
Sometimes they call for backup before they even stop.
That's right.
They won't get out. But they're scared of you.
That's right.
You say, all right, see your driver's license. You got to handle, this is a savage.
That's right. That's right.
This is a savage. So you got to say to him, sir, my driver's license are in my coat pocket or in my jacket pocket, or my driver's license are in my hip pocket, my back pocket. My driver's license are in the glove compartment. May I get it, sir? That ain't no punk. That's a soldier talking to another soldier behind enemy lines, and for the time being, the enemy soldier has the upper hand. Has the upper hand at the time. And so you say it's in the glove compartment. I'll have to reach in the glove compartment and get it. I have no weapons in the glove compartment. And you slowly reach to open the glove compartment. You open the glove compartment. He's still scared. I will have to reach in the glove compartment to get my identification and the registration. There is no weapon, I remind you.
That's right.
In the glove compartment. Would you shine your light in the glove compartment before I reach in the glove compartment?
That's right.
Devil shines his light. You reach in slowly.
That's right.
Take it out. Get your license.
Right.
Name, rank, and serial number.
Teach it, brother.
You give it to him. We have reason to suspect that you've been involved in a rape in Central Park. We have reason to believe that you so-and-so, so-and-so, and such and such. Don't you start talking.
That's right.
That's right. That's right.
You don't say nothing.
That's right.
Because when he reads you Miranda, is that what they call it?
Yes, sir.
You had a right to remain silent, buddy. Anything you say might be held against you in the court of law.
That's right.
That cracker. And anything you don't say might be held against you. So you know anything you say is going to be held against you. You don't say nothing.
That's right.
When they arrested me, about 80 to 90, maybe 100 FBI, GBI, and some other alphabets I hadn't even heard of came out of the trees, out of the woods, out of parked vans, cars from behind the building, automatic weapons, the clicking of weapons. All you could hear was the staccato of guns clicking in the atmosphere. All over the place. Scared to death. The main one almost fell flat on his face, running. FBI, FBI, hands in the air. Get your hands in the air. That's the way they come. You gotta be cool, calm and collected. You make the wrong move and they fill you with holes like Swiss cheese. So I stood there. First, just to be defiant, I just didn't put my hands in the air. And this was just wearing this cracker out. I said, put your hands in the air! I mean, they just go off. Slowly, I raised my hand. I guess he almost said, damn. I have to shoot this nigger if he didn't put his hands in it. He might do it. But then you don't give up no information on nothing. Where you coming from? Sir, am I under arrest? Ma'am, am I under arrest? Where you going? Am I under arrest? If they say no, you say, sir, if I'm not under arrest, I'm not under obligation to answer any questions from you. I'd like to have my identification and be on my way. If he says you're under arrest, you say, sir, what is the charge? You're charged with so and so and such and such. You want to talk about it, buddy? I'd like to see my attorney. If you're a minor, you say, I want to see my parents and my attorney.
That's right.
Period. You keep saying that over and over and over. They'll try you every way they can. You tell them nothing.
That's right.
I'm telling you.
Go ahead, teach it.
I'm not telling you to go out and beat white women in the head with pipes, but if you beat them in the head with the pipe, don't say nothing.
Go ahead.
If you kill them and leave them dead in the park, I'm not telling you to go and kill them and leave them dead in the park, but it's no more than what they've done to us. And if you kill them and leave them in the park, don't say nothing. Don't give up no information. Nothing. Then when they do their report, they'll do what they call creative report.
Yes, sir.
They start lying on you.
Yes, sir.
But don't you give them nothing that they can use against you. Why am I doing this? I want to cover this and cover this war back and forth between the two because somebody has to talk to you on this. Somebody trains them on how to come after you. Somebody got to train you on how to deal with them when they come. You may not be at war, but you definitely in war. You just the only one ain't fighting. Your enemy is fighting you every day and every way. He wants to take as many young men off the streets as he can. And now he's giving big time.
Yes, sir.
30, if you get 20 years now, that's called short time.
That's right.
Black man get 15 or 20 years, he's happy now. Because they give him 30 and 40 years. Triple life. That's what they get. Federal time under the new citizen guidelines. And these state institutions are terrible on the inside. That's what's happening at Rikers. The conditions at Rikers. And the disposition of the minds of those who are over them at Rikers.
That's right.
Even one of their commissioners was talking about it recently in the news, pointing to the condition in Rikers and putting the blame partially on them where it belongs.
Yes, sir.
Remember, sisters and brothers, you are soldiers. You are a captive nation or a captured nation that has been held here for the past 400 years against your will. You are behind enemy lines. I don't care how beautiful Times Square looks. You're behind enemy lines. I don't care how the Great American Adventure Park looks, or whatever they call the park where you go and ride on the super duper twister mister and all that stuff. I don't care how it looks. You are behind enemy lines. Your babies will be born behind enemy lines. You are still in captivity. You have been robbed of your name, your language, your everything, and you wear that of somebody else's. It's no time to play games. I can't play the game of leadership. I can't get you to come and follow me because I'm building myself up as some kind of leader. Unless I'm going to take you to the real leader. You understand?
Yes, sir.
You can't decide to go and jump with anybody and everybody just because you know that we need leadership today when you know who you should be with.
That's right.
You say, well, I don't like the way the thing is set up. And I don't, much of whatever you don't like with the Nation of Islam, you're the missing link.
That's right.
Whenever you come and bring what you have and bring others like you, we got the right teaching. We got the right teacher. We got the right program. Nobody can touch the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Put them all together, and none of them can touch him, or all of them together can. And if those leaders, to borrow from Flav, if those leaders were honest, they would tell you, I can't do nothing for you, man. You know, I tried all I can, but I can't do nothing for you, man. I can't do nothing for you, sister. That's what I have to tell you. I can't do nothing for you, except by Allah's grace, Allah's guidance, and by permission and the guidance of the guide that he has put in our midst, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I say to you many times, those of you who have been coming, if we would have gotten behind Garvey, we would be much closer to freedom today. But we found something else to do. We didn't like this, we didn't like that. We picked at this, we picked at that. So we didn't get with God. I know we would have been free if we would all throw down with that term. I like Nat's program. Nat had them scared in all the parts. Nat had a good program. And if we would have threw down with Nat, be all over now. All over. But Nat Turner was not supported. Nat Turner was turned in by our own people.
That's right.
We never throw down with the leader of our day. We didn't lock in with Malcolm.
Come on.
Malcolm is dead and gone.
That's right.
His memory lives on.
Yes, sir.
His legacy lives on. The lessons that he left for us to learn from, they live on.
Yes, sir.
But Malcolm is gone. It was a rare occasion for me with his wife just the other day. Wasn't like we really had a total sit-down discussion, but I just felt good about the few moments.
Yes, sir.
Because it is something that, were it not for Allah, could not have been possible even for those few seconds.
That's right. Yes, sir.
For us to take a picture together, or for me to have my arm around her, to some degree walking in her husband's footsteps today, and connected to something that I'm sure she still, after 25 years, holds some measure of pain as a result of what she perceives or has misperceived, however it is. But the point that I'm making here is if we would have locked in with Malcolm as he was trying every way he could to point us to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we would be free much farther along the way. Today, you can't make the same mistake.
That's right.
Farrakhan is the man. How do we argue with that? He out-raps the rappers.
That's right.
He out-sings the singers.
That's right.
In terms of action, he out-acts the actors. Huh? And he's stronger than the athletes.
That's right.
He's wiser than the leaders that are out there.
That's right.
He has a track record of many decades of work.
That's right.
And he has not betrayed us anywhere along the way, nor has he deviated anywhere along the way. All of it has been used to make him a bigger and a greater and a stronger man in our midst. How do you get around him?
Come on, brother. Good question.
You think of that. Think about that for a second or two. We don't automatically take the side of the Arabs in the Gulf, and we want you to understand that. First of all, we understand that it was the Arabs who broke our backs during the Arab slave trade that weakened us for the American white man and European slave trade. And the one who calls himself an Arab today is not the true Arab. That's right. He's an imposter perpetrating Arab. You are the real Arab. He's a European, a Johnny-come-lately, that came to that area and controls our oil and our wealth in that part of the world today. But you are the real Arab. You are the real Hebrew. Not that European that has taken over that area and set up an illegal, illegitimate nation called Israel.
That's right. That's right.
we don't automatically take their position, but when it comes to an enemy against America, we have to take the side of the enemy that is fighting America.
That's right. Go ahead.
And then we settle our differences with that enemy later on.
That's right. Go
But
ahead.
the Bible says, God speaking, I will give nations for your rise.
That's right.
He will commit whole nations to war just to weaken powers that be, so that we will ultimately, we who are his chosen, will ultimately be in position to take our divine role and responsibility over that he has ordained for us. So he pits enemies of ours, one enemy, a small or little enemy against a big enemy. He'll pit big enemies against big enemies. But I want to say this. America, I do not believe, can win the war
That's right.
against Iraq. You can tell America knows that she can't win the war. He is little Iraq. And America is deploying soldiers. What's this guy's name? George. You know George. George is at Kennebunkport. Doesn't that sound kind of funny? This guy's at Kennebunkport. It just sounds kind of sweet. Giving orders from Kennebunkport. And he's deploying troops day and night. All of this overkill. But we've seen this before.
That's right. That's right.
What about the troop build-up for Vietnam?
Come on.
Did he win Vietnam? Did he leave in honor or shame and disgrace? France went up against little Vietnam. Did France win? England went up against little Vietnam. Did England win? No. Because the Vietnamese had a fierce determination to defeat this white man. The Vietnamese built underground tunnels like ants. And they conducted their activities underground. White man be walking the GI with his uniform on top of the ground. Viet Cong in a hole underground. Hear him walking on top. Walk and crawl through the hole, wait for him to get to the hole and grab him and snatch him down in them holes, and he never come back up again until they send him back up so mutilated and so messed up until it psychologically would wipe his other comrades in that particular platoon or battalion or company or whatever it was, wipe them out psychologically. That's the way the Viet Cong fought this cracker. That's the way you're going to fight him one day. War is coming in this country. War is coming in this country where the color of your skin will be your uniform. It's definitely coming in this country. And we are not going to lose. Because God is on our side and will create the circumstances to give us the advantage over our enemy. Let me say this. You cannot fight an enemy at home the way you fight an enemy abroad, and I'll be through in a few minutes.
Come on, brother.
America can't fight us at home the way America would fight Saddam Hussein in Iraq, or Ho Chi Minh at that time in Vietnam. You just can't fight an enemy at home the way you fight an enemy abroad. There's certain things you can't do to an enemy at home. And we are the most fierce enemy that the white man has. We know him better than anybody else. We know where all of his nerve centers are. And in most cases, he's got us with uniforms on in key positions.
That's right.
All over the place. I mean, it's real crazy. He did this with the Vietnamese and lost. And now he's doing it over with the Iraqis, and he will lose. But either way it goes, we can't lose. Though we have feelings for the Arab people that are now set upon by this beast. But we will have to settle our score with them later and further down the line. So brothers and sisters, again, if you are called for the war, Make sure that you get some advice. Make sure that you do not put yourself in a position where you'll come back in a pine box.
That's right. That's right.
If they really get into this thing, a lot of American soldiers are going to lose their lives.
That's right.
And you're not even an American, so you shouldn't be a soldier for America. Saddam Hussein might let you come back home, like Khomeini did, but he might not let you come back. So don't go over there counting on Saddam Hussein sending you back home, saying that you're not the true American the way Khomeini did. Khomeini was merciful. He said these Negroes are deaf, dumb, and blind with these uniforms on. Send them back home and let's keep the white ones hostage because they're the real Americans. He had that kind of understanding. But brothers and sisters, in a few moments we might take just one or two questions. On the question dealing with the national, I want to teach a subject on that and the American flag. So hold that one, because that one will get me worked up. And we want to get out of here in a few moments. Do you have any questions? Hand in the back. Walaikum salam. Vila vila.
Y'all gotta understand this war, right? You go over, what they gonna do? You sign yourself to death, not like sign yourself to death. I don't want to get, a lot of people are gonna say that's big into a trap to death.
You talking about with that war? Brother said, you sign up, you signing yourself into death.
Right.
You're absolutely right. Let the white man fight his own war. Our war is right here. And he's our number one enemy.
Right.
Yes, sir.
This is master computer in Europe. You know anything about it?
In
Europe, master computer, there's a 666.
well, yes, sir. What's the?
I just wonder if you know anything about it.
Do you have our lecture on 666, the mark of the beast? Do you have that lecture from here? Check with them before leaving, and it will tie right in with it and everything. Are there any other questions? Sisters also? Yes, ma'am.
Have you been in Egypt? Don't you think the weather alone is a strike against it to begin with?
That's right.
Sister said in words, don't we think that the weather alone is a strike against the white man? It certainly is, and much of it he has caused himself. He has messed up the earth so badly and interfered with the universal laws of God so much until many times it's cold when it should be hot, and it's hot when it should be cold, and it's dry when it should be wet, and it's wet or raining when it should be dry. He's messed up the ozone layer around the earth. Then we're talking about the whole issue of the rainforest. I mean, he's just messed up everything. Polluted the air that we have to breathe, polluted the water that we have to drink. He has messed up the balance in nature. And unless we put him in check, which means we have to hurry and get ourselves together, the fella is on the brink of destroying the whole planet Earth. He's not a responsible guy at all. We have to really put him in check. So the scripture also says, my sister, that God has stored up for that great battle and war, that he has stored up rain and snow and hail. And of course we hear later of earthquakes and other, what the white man calls acts of God.